Peace unto you. Welcome to the Mastery Course for the Beyond. Peace unto you. Welcome to the Mastery Course for the Beyond. Remember, we're going live every Friday and Sunday. Reason why we didn't go live last Sunday, and you can kind of hear my voice. Yeah, one of the essential oils that I had didn't really rock with my sinuses. I don't have any allergies or anything, but I entirely put too much around the house. So when I woke up, my voice was just slowly getting more groggy. But we're in a good space now, so, we could just talk through it. But we're grateful to have all of you here. We're grateful for your presence. This is the Mastery Course for the Beyond. We're going to allow some more people to come on in. Remember, if you missed any of the other Mastery Courses, even the 7-day live that we went on for the eclipse, click the link in my bio, click Nadiie Black's guidance. You'll be able to watch all of these lives completely for free. Later on today, this live will be posted on my YouTube page as well. But what we're going to be speaking of today is a numerous amount of things, but the theme is no thought is neutral. Alrighty? No thought is neutral. And it comes with, in this existence for all of us, to anchor now, because when you look outside and look at the world, things are going to be rapidly shifting. A lot of things are rapidly shifting, and it's indicative of, one, our own perceptions, and two, what we are going to do about it in order for our lives to be, bathing in bliss as we move throughout this process of what this new earth will look like. Remember, when we went live for 7 days for the eclipse, to prepare for that energy, to anchor that energy, it's not necessarily putting a lot of quote-unquote power in the eclipse. What we understand is just like the stock market, when a group of people are collectively putting their stock or putting their energy into something, well, you can then utilize that through laws of oneness, for we're all one, and that energy can be rested upon you. So in the most symbolic form, what the eclipse was simply shining and shedding light on our earth differently. You have beings that thought they can never get caught up doing the dark things that they were doing. Now they're getting caught up because the eclipse simply is shining and shedding light on our earth differently. So if your life is a life of living in the shadows, but you want to be in the light, you could utilize that energy to be in the light. And the eclipse energy, once it happens, that energy integrates with the earth. So it's not like I missed my mark to change my life because the eclipse isn't, present. No. Once any major event happens, astrologically or just within our own lives, the day first is the day before, the day after, and then the day of. But then once the energy is integrated within those 3 days, it just becomes normal for this earth. Well, the same parallel is like inventions. At one point, no one utilized toilet paper. All right. And then all of a sudden, someone said, let's make toilet paper. And then after that invention was then made, integrated, now it's a standard. Well, it's the same thing with the spirit, the light. When you have major events like the new moon, the full moon, eclipse, all of these type of things, when you have these energies, don't just think that one day is the day, the end all be all. That's a fool. That's a person that doesn't really understand how these things work. They integrate with the earth. So let's say, for example, since the energies were so heightened on any particular day, well, I seen a full moon outside yesterday. So, I understand. All right. I don't need to look up any astrologer. I can clearly look in the sky and see the moon is pretty full. So it's probably a full moon. Now I have to deduct whether this is the day before, day of, or day after. Either way, because I still see it, it's within the 3 days. Now, because I recognize that I can utilize the moon's energy. What is the moon's energy? Well, the moon is a governor of our own emotions. It's very, very symbolic. People get highly emotional at night. That's how you're able to go into the realms of spirit, because you're pushing. When you're thinking with emotion, you're not thinking with logic. And a lot of times logic is aligned with ego. A lot of these things might go over people's head, but I'm going to need y'all to walk with me here. So when you're dealing with emotion, you're pushing away logic. From pushing away logic, you start to move away ego, because the ego is the analytical mind. The ego says, I must need proof I can't just have things be in my presence. The ego says, I need to know the descriptions for this and this and this. But when you're operating out of the emotion, the moon energy, then you're able to slip into the spirit realms much easier. The first time I ever astral projected, I was thinking about somebody that I love. Emotion. And I was hyper fixated on that. And then I thought about it so much, I forgot I was in my physical body. I forgot I was even trying to astral project it. Then all of a sudden, this loud ringing happened in my ears. My body started vibrating like your cell phone when it's on silent. And everything just stopped. And then when I tried to get up, it felt like I was moving through quicksand. And when I finally shot out, I was not home. I was in the astral realms. So when you're aware of what's happening in the world, like within the next 3 days, people are going to have much more spiritual experiences. Your dreams are going to be much more powerful. Your astral experiences are going to be much more easier. So at any point, if you wanted to learn how to astral project, understand that removing the vocabulary of learn and the idea that you don't already have, that must be removed in order for you to experience. Well, not in the next 3 days, within. Well, is mainly because any major event in astrology or within our lives, anytime that happens, it's always the day before, the day of, and the day after. Your birthday is actually 3 days. Your birthday is the day before, the day of, and the day after. Anything you do within those 3 days, it kind of just shapes the course of your life. And that's what we understand, because not just something that just came out of nowhere. It's just because of how we perceive. And when we look at other people's lives, when these type of things go on in our lives, like I'm Sikh. That means Blackfoot Native American. I'm not like the others. I actually am a medicine man. That I was one of the youngest medicine men that got initiated, and I got initiated in the astral realms. One of the first times that has happened on Earth, mainly because of the tribes not being so prevalent. But when you're able to astral project, you're able to connect with these beings and not be afraid. They said, okay, we understand that there's some type of fear here, but you have what it takes. Because I was very, very young. The first time astral projecting, well, I was like 7, but the first time doing it on command was 13. So from 13 to now, I've been on this path of being one of the sons of Source, as we say. But now, anytime any major event happens in your life, like for example, your birthday, or any master full, eclipse or full moon, or whatever, you look at the stars and you say something significant is happening. It's the day before, the day of, and the day after. It's going to shape the course of your life. So you have to start being paid attention. But then this is where masters come in. Masters would say, put not all of your stock or energy into these just events that you think have power. For you can make every single day a major event in your life. For when every single day is a major event in your life, you're leaving room for miracles. You're leaving room for the beyond. You're leaving room for what they say God is, or what we call Source. You're leaving room for it. See, now remember the whole theme of today, and all of these will be posted on my YouTube page, Nadiie Black's Guidance. Click the link in my bio. You'll see Nadiie Black's Guidance. You can watch all of these for free. All of these energies are guiding us to this moment, which is saying no thought is neutral. No thought is neutral. There is no side to choose. There is no right or wrong. Let's break that down. There's no right or wrong. There's only what we accept and what we choose to not accept. For any group of people, if they're taught one particular thing, whether you think is right or wrong, they're going to think, let's, for example, say on your side, you think smacking people is wrong. Well, if a group of people were raised, if you grabbed, just lots of children and you raised them with saying smacking people is a term of endearment, and it's a form of saying, hey, guess what? That those group of people, they're going to be indoctrinated within that. So there's no right or wrong. There's only what we accept and what we choose to not accept. Well, now from this energy, we can understand that, all right, when we get out of our ego and we get out of our own way, we could see the world for what it really is. And how the world really is there's just constant this battle, and it's inner conflict, like with the inner conflict that's within us when we have our own doubts and we have our own fears. there's an inner conflict within the world between the light and the dark. It's not a battle. It's just an inner conflict. Because you have aspects of ourselves that feel like it's not this period. It just feels like it's not. But then you have aspects of ourselves that feel like it is. And there's this push and pull, this tug of war that goes on in this world. And what serves for us now is to make a decision and understand that no thought is neutral. There's no need to, one, choose a side, but there also isn't a need to feel like that everything is relying upon one form of perception, or one form of integration, or one form of anything. And it may go over some people's heads, it may not, but what we're saying is, all of us, we're bigger than what we think we are. And there's some things that, as it pertains to the beyond, when it's explained through what you think human ears is, it may seem like it's like half sentences, but it's really not, because there's a specific point you get to in terms of explaining that which is the beyond until it stops. Because you would never be able to understand the beyond utilizing human language, utilizing human thought, utilizing human brain. We can only get you to a specific point. And then from that point, when you're really following along, when we stop a sentence, you would still hear it telepathically. So what we really must anchor as it pertains to this life is not relying so much on the flesh, and knowing that no thought is neutral, knowing that you can't be in this life. You cannot be in this life expecting anything. But even if you were to expect, it serves not to be in this life expecting that you can experience the beyond while still playing these earth games. No thought is neutral. When you're thinking about particular things, or you're enabling certain thoughts, let's say you understand you're not a violent person. Thank you for your very wonderful compliment. When you understand that you're not a violent person, but you're still feeding into violence, you're still watching into violence, and you're putting your energy into it, you're still enabling in it. And all of us are one. So that's still going to be experienced in your life. Well, no thought is neutral. You made your decision on where you wanted your life to go and what energies you wanted to be utilized. And overall, this is important for all of us to know, because again, we are so more powerful, so much more powerful than what we have given ourselves credit for. We have much more power. We have much more say so. And a lot of beings, they don't want a lot of aware souls to be in the forefront. Peace unto you, UFO. So, especially with the TikTok ban, right? Well, everybody looks at what TikTok is, even from the most symbolic, because we always got to incorporate that which is the symbolic perspective. So TikTok in it of itself is like the root system for trees. It's all connected. Yet when we see it, we think it's different. But literally, all of the trees are connected through the root system. The root system is one of the most spiritual things that you can ever experience. As a being, if anybody is, wanting to study, nature spirits or nature, or going to, the beyond, how natives thought and all of this type of thing, right? Study the root system. Even if it's in its most practical, peace unto you, A.K.A, even in its most practical sense, just study what the root system is, and you'll find the spiritual foundations of it will flourish. But the root system is like a perspective of oneness that can be distributed upon us. But all in all, like the TikTok ban, for example, what is TikTok in its most symbolic form? It's a means to connect to the people. That's all it is. A means to connect to the people. in its most symbolic form. So when you have a big force, a big structure that think they govern, if you have a governing structure that says we want to take away this means to connect with people, we want to take away that, you have to think about the why, not even just the why they want to take it away, but why did that energy even rest within them or even is around them. And it's mainly because of everyone understands in this age, when we give these beings a means, especially in this new earth, when we give beings in this new earth a means to connect with mass amount of people, because this algorithm does not prioritize people that you're already following or people that are following you. It just prioritizes new people. Anytime you post a video or post a live, you check the analytics, 90 and higher % is new people. When you have something like that, it's like, you have the ability to change the world because you're constantly in the eyes of new people. And you're going to connect with people much more because eventually you're going to have some of those people saying, okay, I wonder what so-and-so is up to. So then I'm going to search their name. So you have a lot of people doing that and you're constantly being shown to new people. People are accidentally becoming revolutionaries. People are accidentally becoming leaders. People are accidentally becoming in these places because that's how it was back in the 60s. You think every single person that went to the Malcolm X, or the Martin Luther, speeches, do you think they all knew about him? No. A lot of the times, they seen a lot of people over there, and it was like, yo, what's going on over here? I just keep hearing somebody talk. And the closer you get, it's like, oh, snaps. A lot of the reason why these people like Malcolm X and Martin Luther were able to become so magnificent and big is because of the same algorithm that TikTok uses. You have the few people that got word, a new speech is going to be down here. Oh, bet, because remember, they wasn't going to tell these people when these speeches were or what positioning and stuff. You only knew, around certain times to try to avoid certain people being there before the mass amount of people get there. So you had the few people that searched the name up. That's the equivalent to, I'm going to search this person's name up. But then you had the mass amount of people were like the TikTok algorithm. I don't know who this person is. I don't know who this Malcolm X or Martin Luther person is. More so Martin Luther, because he had bigger speeches than Malcolm X. Pretty much people knew who Malcolm X was. When you go into a Malcolm X speech, you know what you're getting into. But with a Martin Luther, you don't know what you're getting into. Because it's so big, it's so global, we don't know what angle he has. So a lot of the time, those people were new people. And then those new people went and told some other people. And then these people over here regurgitated some information to these people. And it just spread like wildfire. Well, TikTok has the same energy. It's the exact same energy. So you have to understand your power in all of this. It's not the power to try to say, stop the ban. No. It's the power in order to change. See, these beings are only doing this for this algorithm, for this app, because they understand the power. And when they have these ideologies, they want other people to come own it. They want other people to come own these algorithms to change it to how everybody else's algorithms is. YouTube's algorithm, IG's algorithm. Those algorithms are based on not even who follows you anymore. Because you can post there and followers don't even see it. It's based on just payment. Pay me, and the moment you pay me one time, you're locked in this unwritten contract where now I for sure don't have to show your stuff to anybody, because I know for sure you have, a thought that's saying pay. And why is this all important, and what does this have to do with spirituality? Well, when you have a people that is quote unquote governing, and they're saying, we want to take away your power, we want to take away your right to connect with other people, then you have to make this stand and say, not, to stop TikTok ban or none of that. Like, you just have to make a stand to have an actual change. You have to figure out, everybody has to wake up one day, understand that no thought is neutral, and stand on something. Everyone has to stand on something. Especially now in this new generation, this new earth, as we say. You're not just going to just lollygag throughout life and, airy fairy our way through. That's what a lot of the new age people think. They think they can just bliss and peace their way through everything. That's not how it works, especially in this new earth. You have to make a stand. What are you going to stand for? Who do you want to be? You want to be yourself? Well, who are you? Are you a being of love? Then stand on that. Argue less. Talk to people much more. Involve yourself within dialogue about the light. Like, I went to Detroit to perform. I had a show on Saturday. I'm performing at Detroit, 420. Detroit. We're in the hood with it. Mass amount of people there. Club is banging. All types of music. We come in with our music, me and my brother. Our music has a balance. But you can understand there's a message behind it. When we got done with our performance, even the host was like, oh, snaps, we needed this for the 420. Everybody was like, yo, you had people were literally zombified in there. We came in, everybody's eyes is just open like this. What are we witnessing? You have some people in the corner really dancing. You have, females over here just like smiling. But you had this unsettling feeling that I don't want to move unless everybody else moves. But I know something is great about what we just witnessed. So what did we do? We had to stand on something in that moment. Standing on something wasn't getting on that stage and showing y'all I can perform and I'm better than everybody. That's not standing on anything. Standing on is like, all right, I looked at RT and this energy just came about me. I could barely talk. So much smoke is covering my mouth. It's at 420. There's smoking in here. I'm going up to the hardest looking dudes. Hand on their shoulder. This is Detroit. They don't know me. Move. No. When the light is here, hands on both of their shoulders. God loves you. Going on to the next person. God loves you. Going on to the next person. God loves you. Went to this person. Hey, yo, man, God loves you. He's like, oh, hey, yo, it's my birthday. I bring him in for a hug. We don't know each other. Yeah, it's his birthday, y'all. Standing on something. Yes, they may have thought this was one of the greatest performances they witnessed with these two that performed these songs. But we left that imprint when we left out. We intentionally went to the hardest looking people that had the entourages around them. I didn't care who they were. We came here to give you the light, and that's what we did. So now when we left, that imprint was around. Now everybody is like, who was they? Who are those people? That's what we mean by standing on something. Even when everybody in their fear-mongering, if there was fear-mongering people within our clique, they would have been like, no, don't talk to these people. Everybody's strapped up. Everybody's this. Everybody's evil. Everybody's mean-mugging. Everybody's this. All of this, right? All of that doesn't matter when the light is here. That's what I'm telling y'all. None of that mattered when the light showed up. When the light showed up, the ego said, my bad, and moved out the way to where I could hug my own brothers. And there'd be no beef. There ain't no don't touch me. There ain't no none of that. It's like it's an embracing. It's the same energy about Bob Marley. That's like I'm saying, like, especially in this generation, y'all must realize how much power y'all have. Everybody in here, everybody that's watching, everybody that's around, y'all have the power to create these mass structures of light, but you must stand on something. Like in Jamaica, when Bob Marley was starting to get big, it's not just about Bob Marley. It's about the people standing on something and saying, we want something different. We're tired of these political wars. And you're someone who's saying you're tired of it as well, and you have the means to project it in a way that all of us can understand it. You're saying it in such a way to where even a baby can understand it. So they put all of their stock into the light. Everyone collectively, all the collective decided to put their stock into the light. That's why we're saying for all of you, stand on something. If you see the light in whatever field, no matter what field it is, if you see the light, put all of it in it. Put all of you into that to make that force. There's no reason that we don't have there's literally no reason why we don't have another Bob Marley on this earth right now. There's no reason. Because when we all have the means, there's enough people talking about the light, and there's enough people complaining. Well, now we must utilize that righteousness, that fierceness, that lion energy in such a way that actually serves. You know, if you see someone like, for example, like a Nadiie, like a Ryan Crawford, like a Michael Murder, like a A.K.A. Awaken, like all of these people, like it's not enough. It's just not enough to just follow them. It's not enough to just go listen to a live real quick and, oh, that's cool. That's not enough to just like a post. It's not enough to just share the post. No, it's a becoming process. Even Yeshua, one of the most revered masters, when he would be asked, how can we appreciate you? How can we show our gratitude for you, Yeshua, oh master of masters? You know what he would say? Be like me. Live like me. That's it. And then he will leave. Don't give me nothing. Because whatever you think you're going to give me, it has no power. Because in order for you to give me something, you have to recognize me as not having it. And in order for me to accept something, I have to recognize me as not having it. And we're not doing either of those. We all are one. I have everything that is required. Peace unto you, Wolf Kai. And you have everything that you deem as serving. So now it's really about putting this energy. You know, if you view Nadiie as, oh, one that has light, focus on it. Share it. Not even just Nadiie. What you listen to what is being said, and you allow that to rest within your filters, and you figure out, how can I formulate sentences regarding to the topics that Nadiie showed me to the people that's around me. Because maybe Nadiie can't talk to your people in such a way that can connect, but you know how to. So it's about translation. It's about taking this and going as far as you possibly can. It's about standing on something. A lot of people, they have no backbone. It's a fear. It's fear-based tactics. When you start to watch the news all the time, when you start looking at the governments and all they're doing is fear-based tactics. When you talk about the TikTok ban, people are more afraid about the TikTok ban than and recognizing that they have a time to really make a stark change. Because all these TikTok bans does, and all of this dialogue and all of this type of things do to our minds, to the energy, it makes us feel like the fight or flight energy. We have to do something. But then two, they weaponize our fear and allow us to hurt ourselves. Essentially, they put a mirror. It's like they give us laser guns and they put a mirror in front of us and they say, shoot. And what happens? The laser is going to bounce off the mirror and hit you right back. That's what they're weaponizing, fear. So now, because everyone has this energy of what should I do, I'm telling you, figure out who you are and what you want. We don't want people that are just randomly stumbled upon the Son of God talking about the light. We don't want them people to just randomly be like, I'm on the light. We don't want fickle people. Figure out what you are. If you're a doctor, if you're a cook, if you're an artist, if you're this, if you're that, figure out what you are. And if you're a light worker, if you want to be with Nadiie and you want to go to these places and go to the light and astral project with me, if you want to do all of these things, figure out who you are. And after you figure out who you are, you dump everything that you have into what you know your plan A is. There's no more plan Bs. Plan B for what? Plan B for what? We're in a generation where your plan A's are much more important than a backup. We're in a generation where you don't even need a backup plan, where you can just focus. There's countless stories about people in this generation, and only this generation, doing what other generations would call the most stupidest acts. Like, for example, Kai Sanat, his assistant, quitting everything, quitting a job to go travel to, go support a 19-year-old. You say you want some animals from the zoo? You have to understand that it's the energy around this generation. The energy is allowing these type of things, but it's not the energy itself. People it's this new generation, this new age. They put so much focus and stock into the energy rather than understanding that they are the ones that created the energy. You're the ones that changed the collective consciousness to say, no, you can do it now. This now generation that we all have, we're the ones that put it in, because it wasn't like that, 2010 and before that. It wasn't like that in the 2000s. It wasn't like that in the 90s. And it's not so far off from our lives now. But we made a radical shift and said we want things now. That's how masters think. That's what you must understand. When Yeshua wanted to create lead into gold and water into wine, or when Buddha wanted to meditate in front of a tree for all of these days, they didn't say, man, I hope this is going to happen. They didn't say, man, I'm going to eventually get to this. Okay, when I put my hand over it, may it eventually get to this alchemical state where it changes its properties. No. It changed because I know it's going to change and I need it to change right now. So that's this. It's a masterful energy around us. It's like a blanket covering this planet, but we must utilize it. You have to take a stand on what you know serves, who you are, dumping your resources into the light, focusing on like, all right, if you have X amount of resources, whether resources is material, whether it's wisdom, whether it's just energy, whether you're very, very good at prayer and you're able to, send mass amount of energy to certain people. If you know you have these resources, you're doing yourself and all people around you a disservice by not trying to band together and communicate with at least one person. Like, I give everybody a task today. Communicate with one person that you know is of the same ilk as you. I give everybody a task today. Communicate with one person that you know is of the same ilk as you to say, if we had the means to change the world, which we do, what will we do? What will be step one? Step one. If every single person goes to another person that they know is on the same type energy as them and say, listen, with what we have, what can we do? What is the first step we can utilize to change the world? One person. One person. See, everybody's talking about where do we start? Where do we start? I'm telling you where to start. Find someone. Listen, I got $100. Maybe you got $200. I got $100. Maybe you got $200. What can we do with $300 that we can utilize to change the world? And trust, and then know this information will come to you. Trust and know the information will come to you. And the way Source works is Source does not just give you one thing. It's like, listen, y'all are multi-dimensional. Everybody in here is multi-dimensional. Okay? So there's multiple ways that you can heal. There's multiple ways you can change the world. There's not just one way. There's not just be a rapper, be a basketball star. There's multiple ways. So now, all right, boom, I'm in this conversation with this person. We got $300. Well, what if? What if we find someone who is a master, right? What if we find more people? So we got us two. What if you go and find someone over here? And what if I go find someone here? Well, what if we grab a group of people, right? And we tell these group of people, we want to change the world. We want to do something small. Let's have group prayers. Group prayers every Tuesday. And it's not even like typical prayers. It's just we're talking about the light. It's okay now. All right, no, we got that on Tuesdays. But now, what about Monday? Okay, Mondays, nobody use profanity on Mondays. Mondays, nobody enable anything that's crazy. Mondays, let's not even use technology. Let's just meet up at this place at this particular time. No technology. It's these small steps. One day, if you see Nadiie, the son of Source, talking about the light, you can, all right, let's try to talk to Nadiie and see if he is able to, come, join us in our adventures and try to make this thing very big. All you have to do is talk to one person. And all of the doubts and the ego that gets in the way that says, oh, people don't listen, or, oh, we don't care about this, or, oh, I don't want to hear the ego. Because what has the ego actually given us? The ego has actually given us nothing. The ego has actually given us nothing. We wake up with the ego on autopilot and not God. It's funny. And I see a few people talking about, there's like this fear-mongering term, repent. Repent for what? And if you was to play your game, right? Repent and then what? See, people in this world, they just think they can just, give all of their problems to God. And there's no divine action. There's no action. You think Yeshua could just wake up and just claim I'm the son of Source and not do nothing? No, there's an action. There's an action that has to be involved in order for you to see some type of fruition within your life. It's an action. Exactly. Don't disregard what the light is just because people are afraid. It's like we're saying the energy of repent is fear mongering. Repent for what? Because if I understand I am God embodied, if I understand that you are God embodied, if I understand you can't say God is omnipresent and you can't say God is everything and then exclude yourself because all you just did was limit God to some. You can't say all. Look at the definitions we even use. When you say all, you mean all. When you say omnipresent, you mean omnipresent. You can't say all except for me. So when you understand I am source and you stand in that light, I am source, A.K.A. God. I am the living son of source. When you understand that, that means every single action and everything that you will is willed by God. It's only not willed by God if you start fearing and you start doubting and you start allowing your ego to be in the forefront. Because everybody's default is God. That's what we're all needing to understand. Remember, there is no specific spiritual path. There's no people be like, come on a spiritual path. That ideology, I can tell where you're at. Because everybody has a spirit and everybody is on the path. Well, then everybody's on a spiritual path. That might have went over some people's heads. You have a spirit and you're on a path. Any path. You're a doctor, you're a veterinarian, you're a light worker. You have a spirit, you're on a path, you're on a spiritual path. You have people that is actually colonizing with spirituality and saying, no, I want you to be on my path. This is not about that. It has nothing to do with that. What serves is you must understand your default, your square one, your default is God. God morning, yes. Your default is God. If everyone's on a spiritual path, which one's walking the right way? The fact that that's a question, and this is not a shot at you. So don't take nothing personal. All right, we're just listening to the guidance. But understand that the fact that that's even a question lets me know that the ego, it was in the forefront to ask it. What do you mean? What is the right way? There's no right way or no wrong way. Remember, there's no right or wrong, only what we accept and what we choose to not accept. God does not formulate thoughts, one, but then to take it even further, God doesn't formulate thoughts with duality. God does not deal with separation. Because what might be accepting for you may not be accepting for another person. So there's no right way in that sense. Remember, it's only in a generation of judgment where a Detroit Red cannot become a Malcolm X. It's only in a generation of judgment where a warlock cannot become a priest. God doesn't care about none of that. God don't care about the journey, only the destination. So there's no right way. There's no wrong way. Because if you looked at these type of things through these ideologies, you can understand that, okay, well, if there's such thing as a wrong way, the warlocks, they're so bad. The warlocks are so terrible, right? But then there's a very, very powerful warlock that went to the quote unquote light. There's a very powerful warlock that went to the light and shared all the dark secrets with the light. And now the light knows. So who was right and who was wrong in that situation? Nobody. There's no right or wrong. It's only what we accept and what we choose to not accept. Because a lot of people, they operate on ego's timing and not God timing. A lot of people operate on ego time and not God time. And then when you operate out of God time long enough, you'll realize it's just God. It's not God time, because time is not so. So then when you have these people that like to entertain, like you either live with the devil or you live with Yeshua. With these type of people, what you must understand is you put far too much power in your own enemy. I made a video that says Satan ain't real and people were actually defending their own enemy. And I asked them, what benefit does it do you to have an evil being hovering over the planet, watching your every move? What benefit does it do you to even subscribe to this ideology? What benefit does it do you to have this evil judgmental God? What benefit does it do you? Why do you put so much energy into these things? We even tell you out of sight, out of mind. We even tell you stop putting energy into things and they just disappear. We tell you these things. But then you still have people that want to believe in demons and ghouls and devils and Satan and Baphomet and all of this. It serves not. They have no power. The only power they have is that which you give. These evil, quote unquote, beings that you think, which is just aspects of yourself, the only power they have is that which you give. You don't see, yes, you talking about Jesus so much, you don't see Jesus hyper fixating on Satan all the time. He's too busy focusing on the light. That might have went over some people's heads. You don't see Jesus focusing on Satan at all. Until bro pop up. Oh, and now that you're here, I guess I can talk to you. What do you want? Move. Hey, yo, you trying to be famous, yo? Hey, yo, you want all the money? No. Move. My bad. He ain't show back up. See, even when you look at, so you hear my voice is a little messed up. You know, the reason why we started it today, usually we go live Fridays and Sundays, but, you know, I missed the Sunday because the voice was just terrible. And I was like, I can't even try. But so we're making up for it today. So most people, they put too much stock. Look, okay, so now, hold on, look, now everybody, hold on. We're bridging. He said, if there's no devil, then that means there's nothing but good. Where's the evil? This is a bridging. Anytime someone is first opposing you and then they give you a question, bridging. So now it's like, set everything aside and try to bridge. If there is no devil, then that means there is nothing but good. I would not say nothing but good. I would say nothing but God. Just take one O off of that sentence. If there's no devil, then that means there's nothing but good, not good. God, where's the evil? There is no evil. And listen, and this person, I'll say your name. DeQuia Simmons. I'll try it. But what we're saying is, listen. When you pray to God, right? DeQuia, I'm gonna just call you Mr. Simmons. That just sounds nice. Mr. Simmons. When you pray to God, make sure everybody, when you're adding everybody, you're talking, make sure you have a level of love and a level of respect. Talk to anybody, even if they're opposing your views. Talk to them as if you were talking to Jesus, A.K.A. Yeshua. Talk to them as if you were talking to Buddha. Let's remember, before we're gonna get back to you, Mr. Simmons, but remember, just a little quick tidbit. Before we went live for the 7-day eclipse, remember, if you missed the 7 days, click the link in my bio, click Nadiie Black's guidance. You'll watch it all for free. All 16 hours of it. Remember, before the live started, Yeshua, A.K.A. Jesus, came to me and said, Nadiie, it's interesting how everybody wants to live like me. It's interesting how these people revere me. It's interesting how people want to dress like me and talk like me. But what you must understand, Nadiie, is at that time, that's how we dressed. At that time, that's how we talked. At that time, that's how we looked. If I was in your time, Nadiie, if I, Yeshua, A.K.A. Jesus, was in your time, Nadiie, I would be wearing Jordans. I would look just like you. And then he left. That's how these masters, they give you some magnificent, you can just, hold on. Every hold on, it gets more deeper. Hold on. What he's saying is every single person that you interact with in your life could be a living angel, could be a master of masters, could be one of the ones that can, change the entire world. Anybody, especially in this generation, because we move to a new frequency. Every single person. I don't care if it's a homeless person. I don't care if it's an addict. I don't care who it is. I don't care if they're from this side of the country or that side of the country. I don't care if they're Palestinian. I don't care if they're Israeli. It doesn't matter. Every single person has the capability of being source within, because we all are source within. So now it's an awareness. So when Yeshua was saying, listen, and if I was in your time, I would be wearing Jordans. What he's saying is, listen, I would look and talk just like you. Who are you to say what you're witnessing right here isn't Christ? Who are you to say when you go in the mirror, that's not Christ? Who are you to say when you walk past the homeless man that that's not Christ? Who are you? Because what you must anchor is, at that time period, they all looked like that. They all dressed like that. They all talked like that. And we're going to get back to you, Mr. Simmons, but we have the No Fap Gen is actually hilarious. He said, no, he wouldn't. But then in the same sentence, you say it's not because there's no sin. I see a conflict. I see your soul and your ego talking. Your ego is saying, no, he wouldn't. No Fap Gen. But then your soul is saying, well, there's no sin in Christ. Exactly. Only when one perceives in sin where they will see anything wrong with what I said. If you see anything wrong with what I said, you just contradicted yourself. You perceived in sin, because there's no right or wrong. God does not look in right or wrongs. It's what we accept and what we choose to not accept. It's everything is looked at through the eyes of love. If you looked at what we understand, you will understand that what we're saying is look at everything through the eyes of love. Well, Yeshua would say, if I was in your time, I would wear Jordans. Yes, he would, because everybody at that time, what was the Nike of that time was sandals, was the Jesus 11s. Or Jordans, or Air Forces in this time was the sandals back in the day, was the Jesus 11s. That's what everybody was rocking. They was rocking the Jesus 11s. So, yes, he would look just like us, because you must understand at that time, there was people that wanted to just get him out of here, just get him out of here, take him out. So he couldn't be so, up in everybody's faces with it. If you actually understood the stories and you studied the stories about Yeshua, he would have scouts go into certain towns with if there was towns with sicknesses, he would have scouts go into the towns first. Because remember, he didn't just have 12 disciples, contrary to popular belief. When you actually study everything, you understand that he had hundreds of people rolling with him. And most of them were women, because women were more intuitive at the time. So you're not just looking at it from the perspective of Yeshua. You're looking at it from Yeshua's protecting all of the people that chose to walk with him. So he didn't want to stand out. Because if you stand out too much, you call the attention to the Romans. And now the Romans is going to burn this village and do all of this to try to find him. So he want to blend in. So yes, he would look just like you. When people say no, he wouldn't, that lets me know that's your ego getting in the way, because you don't want to show love to another person that you think disrespected you. You don't want to show love to a person that you think stink. You don't want to show love to a person that you think is ugly. Move out the way. Move the ego out the way and just love the person. Like when I was in Detroit on Saturday in the club, I went to the toughest of the toughest looking people. I don't care who you think you is. I hugged them, I dapped them up, I brought them in and said, God love you. We left the imprint. Didn't care who it was. Walked up to you, said, God love you. Because I don't allow my ego to get in the way. Because I understand any single person in this club, even the person that's smoking the most, that person could be a light worker to change the world. I am never going to put my ego in the way and try to judge you. So back to Mr. Simmons. Back to Mr. Simmons. If there's no devil, then that means there's nothing but good. Remember, nothing but God. Where's the evil? There's no evil. Mr. Simmons, when you pray to God, right? When you pray to, your beloved Savior, Jesus Christ, do you feel any evil? Do you feel any hurt? Do you feel any fear? No, you don't. You feel happy. Thank you, God, for showing up for me. These people outside was tripping. I'm grateful I'm in this sacred space where I can talk to you. Forgive me for thinking these crazy things. I repent, God. Now I'm going to go live my day, sin some more, and then say repent again. You feel nothing but bliss. You just feel like Jesus and God got your back through and through. If I mess up, they pick me up. Well, it's the same thing with heaven. What we measure is nothing, because nothing can be measured, period. But what our foundations is God, because God is truth. Well, our descriptions, our limited descriptions of what God is in this limited brain is God is love. That's the closest thing we can get to it. God is not actually love. It's far beyond that. But our closest thing, the thing that we have in our language that can kind of describe God is love, because that's what we feel. We feel love. We feel nurturing. We feel nurtured. It feels like a mother is holding us. It feels like we're being bathed when we pray to God, when we talk to God. We have communion. Well, when you go to heaven, where God is, if you say God is the only thing that's real, God has all the power, right? If you say God is the only thing there is, God is the only thing that's real, then okay, if God is all there is and God is love, what is all there is? All there is means everything. So that means love is everything. It's the descriptions. If God is love and God is all there is, then that means love is everything. So when you go into heaven, you go into what we call God's domain, because I astral project every single night. When you go into these realms, these light realms, they call it what you think heaven is, God's domain. And then when we start to talk about the heaven realms, it's actually multiple and they're layered on top. Not really layered on top, but that's the way you can understand it. When you go into God's domain, you can't hate there. You physically can't. And I tried it. I tried to, and they're looking at me like, what are you doing? Why you look like you're constipated? I'm like, it's just something that we do on earth. They're like, what are you talking about? Hate doesn't exist there. The word don't even exist there. So I can't even tell them what I'm trying to do. So if you go as close as you can to God before you transcend, and ain't a lick of hate there, ain't a lick of Satan, ain't a lick of Baphomet, ain't a lick of nothing but happiness, eternal bliss, peace, love. and you think that's what the truth is because you know God is the truth, then move by that. Make that your standard. Don't then try to say, oh no, don't then try to put Satan and all these devils and all this stuff on the same tier as God, because that's what our ego is doing when we say God is all there is, God is the truth, but then our ego says, no, we need evil. So is God more powerful than the devil or no? Because a lot of people are putting them on the same pedestal. I don't believe in it. I know evil ain't real, but a lot of people are putting the devil and God at the same pedestal. Because if the devil has no power, then God has the power. If the devil has no power with the God in you, you can say, move out the way, don't exist. And it moves out the way and it don't exist. And the God in you can look at the devil and say, Lazarus, get up. That's the God in you talking to what you think the devil is. Because when a real God walk in, death ain't real. Lazarus, get up. It ain't no, beloved child of God, may I do a ceremony on you so you can remember your... No, it's get up. Stop playing these earth games. Remember, this ain't real. And what did Lazarus do? He got up, didn't he? There wasn't no... No, he just got up. My bad, God. My ego got in the way. Yeah, your ego was in the driver's seat. Get up. Don't do that again. You scared your sister. That's how powerful God is. A lot of people play these games. Oh, the devil and Satan and Baphomet. They have no power. I actually met the Baphomet when I actually rejected one time. Remember the divine law, what you see is what you are. I actually met the Baphomet. But because my heart was pounding, I ain't gonna lie to you, but I understood the truth. I know the truth. The flesh is weak, the spirit is willing. So when I seen it, all I said was, look at me in my eyes, because I understand the divine law. What you see is what you are. You know what the Baphomet did? Closed his eyes and charged at me. Because if even the most powerful of the beings looked at me, the Son of God, they would transcend and go to heaven. They are that much disturbed by the light to where he knew the divine law and said, no, I'm not going to look at you. And you know what happened? God moved us into different dimensions. Because God is that powerful. God can just say, no, Baphomet, go to that dimension. Oh, no, you go to that dimension. Okay, if God is that powerful, then why is these evil things even existing? Because you're putting power in it. God, give me a prayer. Give me a channeling where somebody is actually talking to God, where God is talking about the devil and putting so much, oh, yeah, don't say he did this, and oh, my God, he has so much power. You will never hear God talk about Satan. You will never hear God talk about evil. You will never hear God talk about these things because they got no power. Why would I put power into something that don't mean nothing? That's like you in a rap beef with somebody, and the person that you're in a rap beef with has 1,000 followers and you have 1,000,000 followers. Why would I don't care that you're dissing me, little 1,000 followers. I got 1,000,000 followers. That's how God look at the devil. They're like in this rap beef. I'm not going to give you no power. You're not going to have the luxury of hearing my diss song. You're not going to have the luxury because you don't mean nothing. But then you have people on this earth that put so much stock into evil, so much stock into the devil. All that is a manipulation game your ego is playing on you to still subscribe to those beliefs and ideologies because you feel like you can't be great. You feel like you can't be great because when there's no evil in the world around you, or when you don't subscribe to evil, now you have responsibility. Now, if there's no evil and there's only love, if something I don't like happens in my life, it was because of me. People don't like that responsibility, so they want to blame it on something. Oh, the devil tempted me. Oh, the devil did this. Or it was move out the way. That's your ego disguising itself as a devil because you don't want responsibility. People talk about Jesus so much, but don't actually try to live like him. When that person, Yeshua, himself said, if you want to flatter me, if you want to bring forth appreciation and gratitude my way, be like me. I don't care about your praise. Don't say God is omnipresent, God needs nothing. How are you going to say God is omnipresent and God needs nothing and then feel like it needs your service and feel like it needs your prayers and feel like they don't need nothing. It just said they don't need nothing. So then why are you trying to tell other people it needs your prayers? No. What did your own master say? The master of masters, Yeshua, Jesus Christ. He said, just be like me. Simple. But no, he lived a great life. No, he was in a human body. He was in a human body because that master understood relatability. If I am a teacher and I can't relate to any of my students, I am not going to be able to teach them nothing. That is an actual fact. That's how the brain works. If I look at you and I just see you as larger than life, and I think I can never amount to anything that you got going on, I can amount to something, I can amount to the path your big toe is on. If I feel like that, I will not be able to listen to anything you're talking about. So Yeshua didn't come on this earth with, just off the strength. No, he came to the womb just like you, in a human body just like you, to show you, even as a human, you can do this. That was the point. Even as a human, you can do this. So what Yeshua did was he intentionally, not unintentionally, he intentionally removed the excuse that humans lean on, which is, but I'm in a human body. Oh, it's hard in a human body. Yes, we're not saying it's not hard, but what we're saying is it's not impossible. We're not saying it's not hard. What we're saying is it's not impossible. Yes, Yeshua had Essene teachers in a land called Qumran. His grandmother Anne, which is Yeshua's grandmother, was a part of some other people that created the Essenes. Yes, Mother Mary is also the Christ, because to birth the Christ, you have to be the Christ. Yes, he was put in a situation where he was only around spiritual people. Yes, he was traveling in the world, traveling to Tibet, traveling to Egypt, traveling to the UK, because there's records all over. Yes, he traveled to the native lands, and they call him Wanikia. Yes, he traveled to all these places and gained all of this information. But remember, we're in a new age. So the time that it took for Yeshua to travel to Tibet to learn Reiki from the Reiki masters, you don't got to travel to Tibet with physicality anymore. Use your technology. You can find a master in Tibet that's teaching Reiki, online course for free. Go on YouTube with it. Now there's really no excuse. There's no excuse. Yeshua went to Egypt to learn the Egyptian mysteries. Billy Carson. Hella Egypt. Yeshua, he went to the UK. Ryan Cropper, he taught me how to astral project on command, 13. There is no excuse anymore. No, I don't want to hear, but Jesus had stop. This is the misconception that people have, and the reason why we're talking about this is because Mr. Simmons asked a question. This is a continuation of his answer. Mr. Simmons, what you must understand is this idea that Jesus Christ was so loved, A.K.A. Yeshua was so loved, that idea, it spins me. Because did y'all forget that y'all took him out? Not y'all, but the people at that time. It's like, did we forget that we took him out? So evidently, we didn't like him. Evidently, he wasn't as loved as what we said. And that lets me know that, if there's people disagreeing with me, that's completely fine. It's a part of the path. I remember when I was speaking to Yeshua in the astral realms, he sent me a vision one day, and it was a vision of him in the marketplace. And he was standing on some crates, and he was talking about God. Only like 4 people was in front of him that stopped, but there was hundreds of people walking past. And the mission was like, listen, Nadiie, understand that not everybody's going to connect with what the truth is, but that doesn't mean you stop. Whether it's 4 people, whether it's 1 person, because it will grow. Because when it's prioritized, when people realize why you're doing what you're doing, then they will understand it. So that's what we're saying. Like, what you must understand is at that time, people, cities, parts of the world didn't like what Yeshua was talking about. Why? Look at the optics. Religion was law at that time. Judaism was law at the time. It was law. There was people that was using that as his laws. So because listen, Yeshua had no problem with religion, contrary to popular belief, because you have some people that like to spin it and try to say Yeshua was against you. Yeshua was against nothing. All he did not like was if someone said the only way you could reach God was going to this place. That's the only thing he didn't like. But that was part of the foundation of a lot of these people's religions. What do you mean the only way you can get to God is by going into that building? No. So what did he say? God is within. So when do you understand what Yeshua was doing? It's like a big pharma, right? If you actually give a cure like Dr. Sebi, what is big pharma going to do? First, Big pharma is going to pull up the analytics, right? And say, okay, if this gets big, how much money are we going to lose? When they start touching billions of dollars, even millions of dollars, something got to happen to Dr. Sabi. What is happening? Why is he curing? It's the same thing with Yeshua. When us as a structure say, if us, because, they get their they pay their dues, they get their money, they get their energy from the church. They get it from the building, from people going inside the building. Well, if you then have somebody say, you don't need to go in the building, for all that's within that building is within you and then some, now you're having people not coming into the building. That means lights are not, getting ran because things are not getting paid. That means I'm not getting money. That means I'm not using my propaganda. That means I don't have as much power. That's why it was so not good from their perspective for Yeshua to say God was. That's one of the main reasons. People want to make all complexualized things. Humans are so egotistical. The only reason why they took Yeshua out, the only reason why they took Jesus out was because he was saying God is within you, and we need more people to come in our church buildings because we need power. And what do you mean it's within you? Who are you? So this misconception that people like Yeshua was so crazy because we are the same people that took him out. So when you then hear somebody that it's another Christ being, because you're looking at another Christ. When you then hear another Christ say this, I am the Son of God, and saying similar things, saying only love, and the basis of all of this is love, and you still have the nerve, the ego, to try to crucify again, now you have to look at yourself. Because what am I saying that's so wrong, that's unsettling to people? Because I'm not trying to convert people to religion? Because I'm saying love more? No, there's nothing wrong with what I'm saying. All we're saying is, don't be a butthead. And maybe your life will get better. That's about it. That's the crutch of our conversation. So that's the answer to your question. Long answer, Mr. Simmons. I understand. Alrighty, everybody, if what we just said made sense, type 33s in the chat. If what we just said made sense, please type 33. I gotta see what the consensus is. If what we said makes sense, type 33s in the chat. I don't want anything to go over anybody's heads. I really, really love all of you. Remember, my intention for all of this, type 33s in the chat, is if everything we said made sense. Remember, my intention for all of this is, please explain cleaning your space. Okay, Juju, I will. The intention for all of this is when you transcend, when you go into the afterlife, I don't want any single person talking to God saying, I didn't know. That's the only thing I care about. I don't want anybody saying, oh God, why didn't you tell me? Because God is going to say, per the Akashic records, I sent my son and I told you exactly what it is. Don't say I didn't tell you, just say you didn't listen. So now nobody has the excuse of, oh God, you didn't tell me. Because I'm telling you what it is. Please explain cleaning your space. Why is cleaning your space important? Remember, we have to make things make sense logically, and we have to make things make sense spiritually. Logically, it doesn't make sense to try to exist in a dirty space because you can't move nowhere because you're always hitting stuff with your foot. Your pinky toe and your big toe is always hitting something. It smells. You can't operate. You can't even function. Your senses aren't working properly because it smells like doo-doo. It smells like dookie. It smells like bad breath. Clean your space. Who wants to exist in a dirty space? Go watch. All we have to do is watch the first episode of Hoarders. And oh, that's too extreme. No, that's just where you're going. That's just where you're going. If you have a dirty space, whether energetically or whatever, it's just where you're going. Watch the first episode of Hoarders. And if you see nothing wrong with that, perfect. Bravo, you're living in your purpose. But if you clearly see something wrong with Hoarders, then you clearly see something wrong with having a dirty environment. We're utilizing the terms right and wrong for human transcription. We understand. So that's the logical, right? The logical. It just makes you feel better. Like Trent said, it makes you feel excited to do more things. That's an actual fact. They say before we do our lives and stuff clean, just run the sweeper. Just running the sweeper. I promise you, before you do something spiritual, if you just run the sweeper, the vacuum, you feel light from its most logical perspective. Now let's move into the spiritual perspective of why it's good for cleaning. Yeah. I got to get my footing together because we're going to talk about some stuff. Some stuff, y'all. So you have beings in the astral realms. And so in the astral realms, you have multiple levels, right? If you was to astral project, you have something called the ethers. The ethers is a thought form realm. The ethers is level 1 of astral projecting. The ethers are not a bad realm. It's a thought form realm. So a lot of beings, like a lot of angels, a lot of, spirit guides, they're never going to come in physicality, because when you go in physicality, you can't come back out unless you go the long way. There's no easy way back out. So the closest thing to physicality is the ether. So you have a lot of etheric beings come. You have a lot of angels that went to their etheric self to come speak to you. So when you hear visions and stories about angels talking to beings and people giving, them prophets visions and stuff like that, that's spirit-based beings going into the ethers and using their etheric body to talk to physicality, because that's the closest way you can do that. But you have the ethers, and then after the ethers, you have the astral realms. The astral realms is like this. So you got the ethers, then you have the astral realms. Then you have the light realms and the heaven realms and all of that. Well, at the ethers, and remember, we have to preface it like this so none of y'all think that ethers are the terrible realms. Because you have some masters that like to go to the ethers because maybe they want a cup of tea or something like that, right? Because in the ethers, it's a thought form realm. So you feel me? You can get your little cup of tea or whatever. I do the little puzzle thing. So in the ethers, the reason why it's important spiritually to clean, right? What's just this? Oh, I'm so grateful this is coming through. Hey, thank you, girl, for saying that message. So dreams are in the ethers? No, dreams are in the subconsciousness. There's the dream realm. Ethers that falls into astral projecting. It's dreams and astral projecting, dreaming and astral projecting, lucid dreaming, astral projecting, completely different. So in our realm, so everybody look around you right now. Everybody right now, you see your little phone in your hand? No, look around you. Y'all see this right now. Use your head, look around you, use your neck. You see this reality. Look at everything, inspect it. You see this world that we're in, right? Look around you. As you think you are in this realm, you are in many. So, for example, let's say you have a couch over here. If you was to astral project, remember, realms are parallel. They're like sandwiched together. If you was to astral project and your astral body met the frequency, let's call this dimension 1, right? Let's say that make life easier for everybody, right? Make life easier because it's actually infinite, but infinite human brain's too much. So let's say 3, right? So there's 3 realms, right? This is realm 1. You looked around. All right, this is realm 1. Okay? Realm 1, let's say realm 1 resonates at 1111 frequency. Then you have realm 2 that resonates at the 22 frequency. Then you have realm 3 that represents, and resonates at the 33 frequency. Well, when you astral project from realm 1, the 11 frequency, right? There's actually 2 forms of existence of each realm. You have the realm that your consciousness is in, physical reality. But then you also have the realm that you just projected yourself into, a spirit-based reality, where the ego exists not. So remember, you have 2. Now within all 2 realms, you have the realm that your consciousness is in, physical reality, and you have the spirit version of that realm. Well, there's actually those 2 realms within every single dimension. So in the ethers, there's those 2. They're in the astral, depending on what let's say there's 10 astral levels, and all 10 of the astral levels, there's 2, the quote unquote more physical or dense version, and the more spirit based version. And when you get to the light realms, there's only 1, because both of them kind of merge together, right? But if you was to astral project, right, and let's say that your astral body resonates at a higher frequency than your physical body, or the body that your consciousness projects itself into. Remember, realm 1 is 11 frequency. Well, let's say when you astral project, you go straight to realm 3. Well, in realm 3, things operate a little differently. Maybe the couch that's on the left side will look like it's on the right side. Maybe your house will be a little bigger. Maybe your house will look like a little smaller. Maybe you'll have more furniture in your house. Things will look slightly or significantly different in each realm. And in each realm, there's a new life being lived there, right? All you're doing is taking over the vessel that existed in that life. Okay? You're following? You're following along? Type 33s in the chat if all of this is making sense. Are we all following along? Type 33s in the chat. This is all making sense. We're giving you some very, very deep information. We gotta make sure everybody is on board. Type 33s in the chat. So far, if I haven't lost y'all yet. Okay, 33s. Perfect. So, Because we all exist in these multiple realms in your consciousness. When you, let's say for you, astral project, you go into these new realms. Well, the reason it's very, very important for you to clean your realms is because one, energy carries. So, for example, in realm 1, if you're a dirty little gremlin in realm 1, right? You just don't clean, you don't care about nothing, hella dishes, right? When you go to realm 3, there might be no dishes, there might be, cleanly environment, but you just carried that energy, because remember, energy cannot be destroyed, only transferred. So you just transferred that energy to your new environment. So you're actually infiltrating your own self by taking that energy, that dirty energy, into this clean environment, and then you don't know what you're really doing. So when you astral project, most of the time we're only in there for like 30 seconds. Time ain't real. It feels like a minute or 2 minutes, but it's really like 30 seconds. Because you have to, it's like a rebirthing process. You have to learn how to use your astral body as if you're being birthed again. Like, a baby has to learn how to walk again. It's kind of like that. So most of the time people are going to stay there for very, very short periods of time. So you're going to get sent back to their body anyway. So all you did was just leave that energy there. Because most people, when they astral project, they're very excited. They have a spike of energy. But when you have the reason why we say be very balanced, don't be very excited, or don't have any spikes of energy and jumps of energy when you astral project, is because when you have those jumps, the energy just, you leave an imprint. Like after image, when things are moving very, very fast, and like an after image, like, the Flash, how he has that glow that's following him when he's running. That's like an after image. Well, when you get very, very excited and there's spikes of energy in the spirit realm, you leave an imprint. You leave an imprint. And if you came from a dirty environment and you astral project, or you go into any form of light realm that's more clean, and then you leave because you're very excited, you left that imprint, you left the imprint of the first realm, the dirty realm, in that clean realm. So then what happens? Then why is that so bad? We get it. All right, finally, we get it. All right. If you're dirty, you go to a clean realm, you get too excited, you leave an imprint of that dirty energy there. Perfect. Why is that bad? The reason why that's not good is because now all you do is the dimension itself. The dimension itself is a being that gets communicated to through frequency. Okay? Frequency is a language. The dimension itself, it happens instantaneously. But for human transcription, let's say millisecond. Every millisecond, a worldwide or a dimension-wide scan comes from the dimension itself. It's a frequency scan. A dimension-wide scan to check the frequencies of everything, to see if anything changed. So when that scan is happening again, every millisecond, when it comes into that reality where you just let that dirt, even though it was once a clean reality, now the dimension is going to say, for whatever reason, this vessel felt it comfortable enough to leave a change in frequency. So then it's going to go to the change of frequency. It's going to say, okay, now what? Because remember, there's no bad or good. It's just a change of frequency. There's no indifferent feeling about it. It's like, all right, the being wants, the dimension is saying you that went to this being wants this frequency of this realm to change. All right, what do you want it to change into? Oh, you want the frequency of 33 in realm 3 to change to 11? So what you end up doing is you change your best realities to your worst reality. So that, in realm 3, how it was resonating at the 33rd frequency, when you come there with a dirty frequency, because remember, the physical body sleeps, the spirit doesn't. So you're going to all of your highest of spiritual realms when you're sleeping, when you're in your sleep state, because you're not always in the dream realm when you're in your sleep state. Don't confuse the sleep state with the dream realm. So you're going to all of these realms. So if you don't got the right energy, all you're doing is just leaving your baggage in all of these other realms. So then now you have all of these extra issues, and now you wake up tired. Anybody ever woke up tired? It's because you're doing extra work, because you're doing a lot of, if you wake up tired, you're doing a lot of undoing in the spirit realm. That's not okay. You should be waking up being refreshed. When you're waking up being refreshed, feeling refreshed, that means I haven't been, doing a lot of hard labor. I just been focusing on light work, because light work is not hard work. Light work is not hard work. So it's very, very important for you to clean your environment. And be like, dang, just me running the sweeper in my house causes that much issues? Yes. Because you're not just in this realm. You're in multiple realms. Is that why you should set intentions before you go into sleep? David, you're getting deep. David, that is precisely why you set your intentions before you go to sleep. Because if you know your life ain't all the way together, if you know I'm too tired to clean up right now, set an intention to not go to the highest version of your realms. Set that intention because you don't want to leave that energy there. I'm not saying set an intention to go to the lower realms. I'm just saying set an intention like this is how you do it. You say, God, guide me to a dimension or a realm that matches my current frequency. That's how you do it. Does that all make sense, right? God, guide me to a realm or dimension that matches my current frequency. So you don't accidentally go to your high realm. And now for 3 days you're waking up tired because you have to undo that muck that you just left there. So take me to the realms that match my current frequency. And if you start having nightmares and you start having that, maybe that should tell you something about you. Maybe you should stop arguing with people. Maybe you should start loving. Maybe you should start talking to God. Stop praying. All right? I tell people, become your prayers. Become your prayers. If you have one prayer, analyze that prayer as if you were God and say, all right, based on this prayer that I just prayed, what can I implement to make sure I don't have to say this prayer again? If it's God, help me with the money. All right, maybe I should save maybe $100 out of each paycheck. And if I do this long enough, that prayer is not a thing no more. Perfect. If it's God, I need help with this relationship. Maybe I have to learn how to love myself more because nobody's going to love me if I don't love myself. No one likes toxic relationships. Whatever it is, figure out how to become your prayers. So that is one of the main reasons why you have to clean your environment. Because all you're doing is doing yourself a disservice on a multidimensional level. People be like, oh, it's not affecting me now. All right, that's fine. But it will. Especially in this new generation, this new earth, things are speeding up. Things are speeding up. Things will start affecting you. What you're doing, what you have done, is going to come back. And it's not karma either. It's not karma. Karma doesn't exist anymore. Karma does not exist anymore. That's an old earth type of tactic. Karma don't exist. Accountability exists, not karma. So your own energy will show you this is not you. Your own energy will show you and come up to you. Interventions, spiritual interventions will be in the forefront, not karma. Karma is just, if you do that, smack you. No. In this new realm, we're so much in oneness. If we know something ain't right, it's our whole body will feel it until we get it together. Not because of karma, because we just know what is the most loving thing to do. We know what's best. We have accountability. There is a spiritual level of accountability that even people that don't even have physical accountability, they're going to have this God level, soul level accountability. You want to, and even today, when you recognize, I'm telling you, people that never have been responsible, people that never have wanted to be anything of greatness. If you watch them now, you start to see them take steps in the direction of wanting to be more responsible, wanting to change their life. You'll hear people in the hood talk about more things that can better them in their environment. You'll hear these type of talk, even though they're in the same breath they talk about the craziness, but you'll just hear that dialogue slip in. It's because it's soul level accountability. I'm telling you, it's a thing. I'm telling you, it's a thing. Soul level accountability. Let me get into these comments real quick just to make sure. So you can't change dimensions once you're in. Once you're in a dimension, yes, you can change it, but we're not even going to get into this. That's just coming from Ricky Dunn. Ricky Dunn, yes, you can change your dimension, any dimension than once you're in it, but that is far easier said than done. So most people, we're going to just meet them where they are. Most people, they're not going to know how to change dimensions. Because it's when you astral project, you're existing differently. That's what I need everybody to understand. You're existing differently. Our basis on existing in this dimension is our senses. What we can hear, what we can see, what we can taste, what we can feel, what we can smell. That's not how you exist in the astral realms because the senses are not there. The reason why you may think the senses is there is because you just came from a version of yourself where you're using senses. But if an angel or a spirit guide or one of the messengers was to come into your reality when you immediately astral project, they would tell you, and if they was to tell you how it actually goes down and how you actually exist here, your mind would be blown. You'd be like, this is how we exist? I've been smelling stuff. He's like, oh, no. You're not using your nose. So you exist completely differently. So most people can't wrap their head around that. If you still think, when you astral project and you think you're still feeling and touching and hearing, if you think you're using your senses, you're never going to learn how to change dimensions and do all this extra stuff, because that identifier of my senses or how I exist, that's a attachment, that's an anchor to a dense realm. So all you're doing is anchoring yourself to a dense realm. You have to be open-minded and comfortable enough to know I can exist differently. Far easier said than done. But when you astral project enough, you will stop caring about what you feel and all this type of stuff. And then you'll realize that, oh, pain doesn't exist. You'll realize, and astral projection teaches you a lot of these things. Like, it teaches you that all of this stuff is literally in your mind. Because if you're in the astral realm and you're feeling pain and all of that, it's because you're still thinking with your mind. You're still thinking with your dense self. The moment you stop identifying with your body, and not saying forget about your body, but what we're saying is stop identifying with your body. The moment you stop identifying with your body, then you can literally put a knife in your hand in the astral realms and then you take it out and you don't feel no pain and it just heals up. I promise you. You can jump off a building and be completely fine. You can fly to the top of the earth, get a little scared, come back down, but nothing ever happened to you. So that's why it's focused on. That's why we're focusing on. When you go into your sleep state and you go into the spirit realms, go there pure. Let's just go there pure from the get-go. Let's not, I'm going to figure out how to change dimensions because I messed with this dimension. Don't mess with the dimension in the first place. You just, go to the root. A lot of people in this generation, they want an easy way out. They want manipulation. They want all of these like energies, that guide us away from responsibility. No, that's not how these spiritual gifts work. You got to go in who you think you are. Fake the funk if you want to. Fake the funk. If you think, and that's how that got me through a lot. I'm telling you. Because what you might think faking the funk is, like, for example, if you say, I'm one of the most powerful Christ beings in the history of all, better than Jesus, better than Buddha, they actually pray to me. If you start doing all of that, right, and you're going into astral projection, I promise you. You might think you're faking the funk. I promise you might think you're faking the funk, but the truth is the truth. Now, the truth of it is like, all right, you're a God-present being. The truth is what the truth is. So when you're just shooting it, I'm the greatest. You sound like Trump with it. I'm the great. When you start doing all of that, and as you're astral projecting, you're going to go to a very high realm on accident, or you're going to go to a very low realm on accident. And either one is not bad, because if you go to a very low realm, you have much more control over things, right? But you can also be able to bring the light to that realm. Because a lot of the times when you start saying this type of things, that you're the greatest, you're this light, you're that light, God's going to be like, oh, for real? You can handle that? Oh, you're like that for real? All right, bring the light to this dimension and free that dimension from shackles. You're going to be like, what? So sometimes you'll go to a low realm for you to liberate it. So be careful what you ask for. Want to be like Jesus? All right, Jesus went to hell and freed everybody from it. Oh, you want to be like Jesus, right? All right, bet go. Pew! Or sometimes you go to a very, very high realm. You meet Buddha. You meet these beings. Oh my gosh, you thought highly of yourself for once. Sometimes that's how these beings will come to you. There's like a lot, like the elephant beings, and they got the serious beings, like those like the lion people, the feline people, and all of that. A lot of those beings don't like humans. One of the main reasons why they don't like humans is because humans don't like themselves. That's literally it. I promise you that's it. A lot of these beings don't like humans, not because humans are terrible. It's because they don't like themselves. We don't like ourselves. We avoid what the truth is. The truth. Every other being in the universe knows that we're God. Not like we're like us. We're talking about themselves. Everybody knows that we're all God. But the humans. So if we all on the same page, right? If we all on the same page, we in a party, get money, light workers unite. And then you have somebody That's like, the person in Charlie Brown that has the little funky clouds all over him. The Christmas episode. No, as a matter of fact, it was the Halloween episode. Everybody got their candy. Yeah, I got a Snickers. I got a Twix. He looking in his bag. I got a rock. We just, when the humans just come with the, I got a rock energy, it's like, bro, you're a party pooper. You're killing the vibe. It's just the vibe. It's just being deaded. So when you go, that's the only reason why these beings, like, Ganesha and all these beings, the reason why they don't like humans is because y'all don't like yourself. If you start shooting that stuff like, I'm God present, but not like egoically, like, it's not like saying I'm God present in because you want to feel good. It's I'm God present and I know I can do something with that. When you say I am God present and you're okay with going to the darkest of the darkest realms because you're so God present, you're able to liberate it. When you start being on that type time, that's how I know you God present. Just saying I'm a God means absolutely nothing. But when you say I'm a God and you also couple that intention with, and I'm okay with comes with it, when you couple I am a God and you couple that with I am okay with comes with it, then you can go to Ganesha, then you can go to Buddha and all these serious beings and everybody, and they will welcome you with open arms. Finally, you're seeing yourself with power. That's why we didn't want to be next to you all the time. It's because humans just feel like, humans, y'all think y'all useless, but you're not useless. There's actually gods in certain dimensions that feed off of your own prayers. That was about the Greek mythology. The reason why the Zeus and all of them, they fell is because they was a specific type of etheric being. I didn't even know we was going to even get into that, God. Like Zeus and all of these beings, right? Zeus and all of these beings, they're a specific type of etheric being. And they set it up. They set their consciousness up to the collective. I didn't even know he was going to get here. So there's a way, and I'm not going to tell you the way because it doesn't matter. But there's a way you can set your soul inside the collective consciousness, but not in the same way you think. Because technically, we're all in the collective consciousness because we're all collectively the consciousness, right? But there's a way to exist. Because when you choose to incarnate on Earth, or even materialize on Earth, whether you choose the incarnation route through the womb, or you choose the materialization route, like Isis, Osiris, and all of these, Zeus and all of these things, right? You still have to fall in line with certain laws of the world. Not all of them, especially if you materialize like Zeus and all these extra beings. It's different. But you can go inside the consciousness and have your soul, that powerful soul, be in the consciousness. Now, what happens when you're in the consciousness? Now, the consciousness is going to be able to be feeding you. You have now made the consciousness, the collective consciousness, your source instead of God. These Zeus and all these beings, they made the collective consciousness their God instead of God itself, the source. So, the reason why they needed everybody's prayers was because we're being fed by the collective consciousness. So when the collective constantly thinks about us, we're liberated because that's how we set up our existence in this go round. So whenever the collective consciousness stops thinking about us, stops praying to us, stops doing that, we lose our power because our power didn't come from God to begin with. Makes sense, right? So all of this is, I didn't even really realize we would go here, but all of this is extremely important because you must understand how powerful you are. A lot of the times people don't realize they're as powerful as they are, but the ones that do realize it, sometimes they get tricked into the way the old pantheon gods did. They put too much energy into public opinion. The pantheon gods in today's time will be the people that's addicted to fame, addicted to going viral. It's the same energy. The exact same energy. The energy that the pantheon gods had is the same exact energy of the ones that always want to go viral, always addicted to fame. Like, the NPCs, the NPC people on TikTok, when they be crashing out, they have the same energy as the pantheon gods. You put so much stock and energy into the collective consciousness rather than God itself. So when the collective flips on you, you lose all your power and you just crash out. Makes sense, right? So in today's time, if we still have pantheon gods, they will be the most famous people. Hey man, don't shoot.